Drink some water. I'm gonna tell you guys a little something, something. Wreck-It Ralph, the video game, is bad. Okay, let me tell you guys why. Wreck-It Ralph, the video game, of course, is a licensed tie-in movie game. Or movie game? Yeah, it's a movie game. Yeah, see, I don't even know how to say it. And it was developed by Disney Interactive Studios, or whoever is in charge of Disney stuff. And they decided to make a Wreck-It Ralph video game to tie in with the movie. Now, the reason why this was actually pretty much a really big deal was because of the fact that before Wreck-It Ralph, video game movies were always seen as just bad. And because of that, when Disney announced that they were making a video game movie, it kind of got a lot of us really interested because, you know, it's Disney. And at the time, I can't really say about now, but at the time, it was really promising to see that Disney was going to be making a video game film. And with Disney's track record, it was a guarantee that this movie was going to be really good. And spoiler alert, Wreck-It Ralph is my favorite movie of all time. I made a little video about it of me, you know, presenting that movie and why I love it to the classroom one time in college. And I really like that video. And I will be making a review someday, but this is not that review. Because today I want to focus on the video game Wreck-It Ralph. Now, if you were around 2012, then you would know that this is actually one of the worst licensed games of all time. This is the definition of licensed game trash. This is the definition of shovelware trash. This is the definition of how to not do something in life and just in general. Seriously, this game is just absolutely just terrible. But not that terrible. You see, I say it's terrible, but even then, I still do have, and I know I'll say this in the video eventually, that I do have a guilty pleasure for Wreck-It Ralph the game, and it's only because of the fact that I played this game right back when I was about 12, and I had just seen the movie at the time, and I remember I went over to my cousin's house, and he had the game on his 3DS, and I remember playing it, and you know, at the time, I thought Wreck-It Ralph was just going to be like a one and done type thing. I was a very sensitive kid. I still kind of am, and well, I'm not kind of, I definitely am. And I didn't like the fact that Wreck-It Ralph was just going to be a one and done thing. I wanted to, you know, know more about the characters in the world. And like I said, this was my favorite movie of all time, so I wanted more out of it. And I remember playing this game over his house, and I eventually took it back home with me, and I had that game for years, and I would periodically play it every so often because it's very short of a game, and I do have memories and a little bit of my heart in that game because it is Wreck-It Ralph. But I do have to say right now that just because I have a lot of history with this game, and I will say that I do have a quote-unquote guilty pleasure for this game, this does not exempt it from any type of criticism that I'm going to give it in this video, and that's definitely what I'm going to do. But even then, I'll probably play this game after I do this review. It's not out of the question. The only thing is should you guys play it, and even if it is worth your time. See, the thing about Wreck-It Ralph is that it's a side-scrolling 2D platformer that has like 3D models and stuff like that, so what people would call pseudo 3D. But, you know, 2.5D, pseudo 3D, it's whatever. Now, to be honest with you, what do you even want to expect? Like, what do you expect when you want to make like a Wreck-It Ralph game? When you make a video game based off of a media franchise, it's important for the video game to put you in that character from that franchise's shoes. So the important thing about a Cars video game is that you get to go around and race as cars. If you want to make a Superman video game, you're going around Metropolis, flying around, using ice breath, using your super speed to save everybody in Metropolis. A great definition of a licensed game is the Batman Arkham series, in that, yes, it is overused, but it's nonetheless true when the games really make you feel like Batman because of all of the gadgets that he uses, the fact that he can glide and he can beat up, and the amazing combat system, the puzzles, the stealth in that game is amazing. In all of those games, it's absolutely stellar. I love every single Arkham game except the ones that I haven't played, which are the 3DS and the handheld games in general. People don't like Arkham Origins. I don't care. Arkham Origins is just overhated for absolutely no reason. I don't understand it. But with that being said, I will say right now that licensed games aren't really treated the best. And Wreck-It Ralph, I thought, you know, with it having the whole entire idea that video game movies could actually be good, why can't the game that was based off of that movie that's based off of games actually be good itself? Because it's a video game based off of a movie that's based off of a game and stuff like that. It doesn't make any sense. Seriously, this game has no, like, okay, first of all, I gotta get into this, okay? Like I was trying to say, this game is a pseudo 3D 2.5D platformer. And honestly, it's not really all that bad of an approach because, you know, Fix-It Felix Jr., which is the main game that is in Wreck-It Ralph, is a 2D platformer. That's fine. I mean, there's really nothing wrong with that in general. I mean, what's wrong with 2D platforming in Wreck-It Ralph? That's not really the problem. Honestly, this game comes off as cheap. You can control Wreck-It Ralph and Felix at the same time, and yes, they are the only two playable characters in this game because I guess we couldn't play as Sergeant Calhoun or Vanellope Von Sweets, shoot people like in Call of Duty, or race around in like Sugar Rush in her go-kart and stuff like that. I guess they didn't think that was fun because they left that out. But, you know, that's not the least of my problems, okay? I love Ben 10 Protector of the Earth, and that game only had 5 aliens, you know, and Ben's supposed to have like 10 aliens in that game. So I might be able to actually excuse that, but the thing about this game is that, well, it's just not that fun, honestly. It's just bare bones minimum type of stuff. And I know I was like acting like I was really just, you know, going crazy about like why this game is really bad. But my point of the matter is that this game could have actually been a lot more than what it was. And now this is just screaming shovelware. I mean, how many games have I even seen like this? This is not just Wreck-It Ralph. It'd be fine. It would be kind of unique if Wreck-It Ralph was like the first 2.5, you know, platformer that I probably played based off of a licensed media franchise. But I've played so many other of these types of games that it really makes no big deal, no difference. Wreck-It Ralph is basically your average bare bones platformer. There, I said it. That's all it really is, okay? You're just going around as Wreck-It Ralph and Felix. Ralph can punch stuff. He can slam, I guess, like a ground pound or something. He can collect coins. He can trip switches, grab checkpoints, and jump around and just wreck stuff. And yeah, I guess that's pretty good because, you know, that's what Wreck-It Ralph is supposed to do, right? Felix just kind of is like the builder in this game. I think it's comparable to something like the Lego like build system in the Lego games because it reminds me a lot of that because really a lot of the time that what you're doing is like going around and you're like just fixing stuff for Wreck-It Ralph because in this game you don't really want to play as like Fix-It Felix because of the fact that there are a lot of enemies in this game and they're nothing challenging. Like really, at the end of the day, you can defeat these enemies with Fix-It Felix, but even then, Fix-It Felix is a lot weaker than Ralph, and Ralph can usually just defeat enemies in about 1 to 3 hits. Fix-It Felix, he can like toss his hammer and has this really, really weak and just absolutely useless hammer swing attack. He has a double jump and he can actually jump on walls, which isn't really all that useful. And it's like when I look at this game, it's like they designed it as if Ralph was in mind. It's like Fix-It Felix was just put in here as like fodder, I guess, because I swear a lot of these platforming sections you can actually get past with Ralph. There's really no reason to play as Fix-It Felix because he's just like a doorman, I guess you could say. He's nothing really much but that. And because of that, Ralph is your best option. Fix-It Felix, honestly, like I said, is useless. He's just your Lego build mechanic, I guess, just to let you get across certain gaps or puzzles or stuff like that. The level design, honestly, is just boring. The level design is just kind of whatever. And with that being said, this game is really easy, and I mean really easy. You can beat this game in about 2 hours. In fact, this entire recording session that I did with this game was 2 hours. You can actually find the entire full length of the game, me playing the entire game, on my Let's Play channel, KamyKam, if you want to see the entire thing. But it really is just a short game. Yeah, they usually make these games like any brain dead schmuck in a psych ward can actually play this and beat it in any way, shape, or form. Somehow, I don't know. This game is just really just kind of forgettable. In terms of the levels, there's not really a lot of them. Like I said, this game is really short, and there's only about like 4, 5, 6. I don't even care to really remember. The levels themselves are just kind of there. I mean, like I said, the level design itself is really just cutting the bottom of the barrel of just like average. Like, I don't even know how average you could actually go. Like I said, I'm having so much trouble with this review because I don't really know what to really say about it in terms of what it brings new to the table or what type of like nuance that it has with any other media or how it differentiates itself from the crowd, but I really just can't. The levels themselves are pretty dang short, but I will give credit to where credit is due. At least this game actually does have more of a focus on all 3 of the main games in Wreck-It Ralph, because Wreck-It Ralph, for you guys don't know, Fix-It Felix Jr. is like 20% of the movie, Hero's Duty is like 10%, and the rest of the 70% of the movie is basically Sugar Rush, which I think I still love that movie, but a lot of it does just kind of take place in Sugar Rush after a while, and it's like we kind of forget about the other games. Now, the graphics themselves are okay, but if you're playing this on a Wii, you're definitely going to be thinking, what the freak am I playing this on, a freaking 3DS? Speaking of the Nintendo DS, the graphics themselves, I know I said, are just kind of on the level of a DS, but the other thing about this game is and probably the reason why it probably trended a little while ago on TikTok or whatever, is the freaking cutscenes. The cutscenes are just your basic character dialogue PNG with text on the bottom, and that's usually what it is. And now this is something that you commonly see in stuff like, you know, DS games, PSP games, you know, games with not as high as a budget as a console game. And this is usually commonplace for that type of stuff. And I could understand it being in like a Nintendo DS game. But for the 3DS and the Wii itself, why are we seeing these absolutely hilarious and awful cutscenes with these stupid PNGs doing whatever the frick PNGs do? And honestly, yeah, these models look really bad when you look at them close like this. You know, you don't get a Kingdom Hearts gameplay model from like, you know, the PlayStation 2 era, and you don't slap it into a freaking cutscene and call it a day and just be like, no, you don't do that. That's not considered good. Why the heck are these cutscenes voice acted and not animated as well? Like, they couldn't shell enough money just to make some goofy little cutscene or whatever instead of just making some really boring text box cutscene. It's absolutely lazy, and it's one of the reasons why I feel like the graphics themselves, while they're okay, the presentation is just awful. Like, it just is. This is one of those games that have actually been ported into multiple different systems. This game was released on the Wii, 3DS, and the DS. Now, as far as I know, every single version of this game looks identically the same. The only thing is that the DS version might actually be a lot more pixelated than this because it might have a lot more anti-aliasing. Alright guys, we got a quick intermission. We're going to be looking a little bit at the Wreck-It Ralph game. I want to see kind of how bad this is on the DS. So let's look at it real quick. This is who is this by? This is by Project Longplay. And I watched a couple of seconds of this and I was like, oh my god, this is so bad or whatever. Oh my god. This music is nothing like this. Is not where's the Game Central Station music? I seen this a little while ago, but I don't really remember it.
Wreck-It Ralph. Dead animal. Or what? Depending on the day. Anyhow, I'm a bad guy. Capital.
So there's no intro cutscene because I guess I couldn't compress the intro from the regular game and into the DS game. So now we definitely have standard text box cutscenes, which makes sense, I guess, for the DS. But look how like jagged that PNG of Ralph is. That is like just terrible. Like, why why does he look so fried? Why does he look like that? He ate all of the free chicken.
And the gal he married, Sergeant Calhoun. Little known fact, her first name's Tammy.
Oh, that's really nice, Ralph. That's very What the freak? What the frick is that? So Oh, we got the. Hold on, I just realized that. Okay, no, that actually does look like a custom model that they made for Tammy, I guess, for this game. But look at Vanellope. They literally just did this, right? They said, hold up, watch out. This is what they did, okay? Guys, look, this is what they did. They did Vanellope Von Sweets. They went to images, and then they did this. This is Vanellope Von Sweets. Let's slap it into the Wreck-It Ralph video game. And then I just went to the webpage. And yeah, that's what they did. That's what they did. What is going on? For the love of God! For the love of God! This is super lazy. Like, I didn't think it was going to get even lazier than the freaking console version. But the fact that they just slapped as PNG like it's Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep Final Mix. My God, this is the reason why, like, I avoid licensed games like this. Like this budget, this absolute non-attention to detail. Like, this is ridiculous. What the frick did she just turn into, an egg? So no ultimate cutscene, game looks the same, nothing really else to see here. But you can switch the characters on the bottom screen. That's kind of fun or something. I don't know. What does the end of the game look like? Ooh, hey, it's Vanellope. They got like a concept from the game.
You gamers happy, 1 quarter at a time.
Is that it? They just
victory over Cyber.
And then we got PNG Vanellope still. So this game is even lazier on the DS version. This is a pure example why licensed games are just not good. But as you go from the 3DS then to the Wii, it's more apparent that these were honestly just supposed to be handheld games. And that is kind of the point. This game would have been okay if it was just a handheld game that was probably priced at like $15 to $20. I think that might even be a little bit steep in terms of price. But in all honesty, this game just screams just budget. It screams budget handheld. It doesn't seem like a full console game. And I hope to God, because I don't know why we don't have like actual records about like games and how they were priced back in the day, because I still can't find the original prices for lots of video games. But one video game that I need to understand, I need to know the price of, is this game. Because if this game was originally $60 back in 2012, that is going to be that's absolute tomfoolery. I swear if this game was that much. If this game, like I said, it was $15, $20, that would make a lot of sense. But this game is not worth that much. This is a handheld game for consoles. And even if it was on handhelds, then it wouldn't even have been that much in general. That's actually pushing it in terms of the price, in terms of the value of this game. Now, I will say right now that I do have a guilty pleasure for this game. Yes, I do. I really do. And even at the same time, I can look past my nostalgia for this game. Like I said before, I played this game because I was playing it from my friend's 3DS or whatever, and I was able to spend so many hours with this game. And yes, it is kind of a whatever type of game that you can just play, that you pop in, that you don't really care about thinking about whatever you're doing in a video game or whatever. Yes, it's fine for that, but in general, this game is a disappointment. I would have wanted to see a 3D Wreck-It Ralph game that had a lot more intricate puzzles, a lot more craziness. Why couldn't we at least... I can't believe this. I haven't played this game in years, but what about a B-movie Wreck-It Ralph game, huh? Why can't we have a Ben 10 Protector of the Earth Wreck-It Ralph game? Why can't we have a Spider-Man 2? Or I would say Spider-Man 3 because I love that game. But why couldn't we have that? Wreck-It Ralph in general is just a lazy attempt at making a licensed game that was definitely going to get sales, but this is just a lazy freaking piece of whatever. Like, okay, like I said, the graphics are not that good. They're honestly just subpar. They're just okay. They're average. The platforming themselves is whatever. I could see this in like 20,000 different other games right now. I'm looking at the footage right now, and I could definitely tell you I've seen this in like 20,000 other different things. The enemies themselves are just kind of there. Like they just go down like a couple of hits, and while you can actually have a little bit of trouble with them with Fix It Felix. They're not really that hard in general, and really you can just switch to Ralph on the fly at any time, and Ralph makes short enemy work of any enemy that's in this game. It really doesn't make a difference. The entire game is just monotonous, and I don't know what to say about this game. It's just whatever. It's just so whatever. It's just so whatever. I didn't even talk about the bosses. I mean, the boss, there's like 2, maybe 3, and it's like at the end of the game, there's like some really simple like Cybug bosses or whatever, and it's just really cheap. It's really random. The game kind of just ends. I also love how this game, like in terms of the like how it is, it just feels like there's nothing in this game. It feels like a dry desert, I guess you could say. It's like a tundra of absolute. It's like I'm looking at Antarctica. There's like nothing here. It's like just a couple of ice flows or glaciers or whatever. There's a couple things to look at, but in all honesty, there's not really that much to look at here. Oh yeah, the music. The music itself actually does sound pretty good. I'll say I think it fits with Wreck-It Ralph and the game itself. Some of it does kind of sound a little bit, you know, like whatever. They just kind of made this in about 2 hours just to synthesize. They just synthesized the music in like 2 hours and call it a day. Said Wreck-It Ralph music, but it does fit. I will say the music itself does fit, and if they were added some more, you know, if they remixed the sound a little bit, add some more instruments to it, I think it really could have, you know, brought it to life. I could definitely see people actually, you know, doing like fan remixes of this, and it would actually sound really great. I actually love the Game Central Station music. That is a really awesome song, and I use it a lot in my videos sometimes. So if you've probably heard it before, then that's where that you know comes from. It's a really awesome, chill song, and it's awesome. So I just have to say the music in the game is actually it's pretty good. I think it's okay. I would say at the very least, I think it's good at the most. Oh yeah, Vanellope's car is in this game. Isn't that fun? You repair it as Felix, and then he repairs it, and it goes through some like blocks, and then it dies and goes away in a puff of smoke. Wow, it would have been really great if we could have actually drove that, right? No, we couldn't have that. We couldn't have that. Ah! I'm just saying, guys. I'm just saying. Freaking saying. Wreck-It Ralph is just such a whatever game that I haven't played in such a long time, and I now understand why. You know, the game is just boring. I don't think it has anything remarkable to say, and it's just such a letdown because Wreck-It Ralph is legit my favorite movie of all time. I love the freaking movie with all of my heart. I do. I don't know how many times I've watched that movie. I probably watched that movie the most I've ever watched a movie ever. As a guy who doesn't like a lot of things, who doesn't really care for, you know, Spider-Verse, who doesn't really care for Harry Potter, Star Wars, Breaking Bad, all of these media franchises and stuff like that, for me to say that I love Wreck-It Ralph, for me to say that I love something with all of my heart, and for it to get this straight up whatever garbage shovelware treatment, it's just sad to say. I really wish that they somehow actually made another Wreck-It Ralph game. Obviously not based off of another movie, because Wreck-It Ralph never got another movie, which is just such a shame. Seriously, I never really wanted that to happen. I really wanted them to have another game, but another movie, but they didn't. But in theoretical sense, I would have liked it if they actually made another game that was a lot better than this. I mean, Wreck-It Ralph was in Disney Infinity. Wreck-It Ralph was in Sonic and All-Stars Racing Transformed. Wreck-It Ralph has probably been in a whole lot of freaking other games. He's probably in Mugen. I don't freaking know. He might be. But with that being said, this is just a letdown. I don't like Wreck-It Ralph. It's not a good game. If you want to try it, it's probably you're going to try it for the meme. You're going to see or you just watched the movie. You want to see how bad or curious it is. And a lot of you probably watching this are probably going to try to play it yourself if you're even interested, because that's how it works. Something is bad and you get people to play it. That's how it usually works. But I can just say right now, this is not even really worth your time. It's boring. It's not worth $60. It's not worth a lot of money at all. It's just, it's just whatever. But yes, guys, with that being said, if I wanted to give Wreck-It Ralph, the video game, a score, I do like the cover art though. I really do. It's really nice. It's simple, but hey, it's effective. The game itself, I'd probably have to give it a 4 out of 10. Like I said, the level design is really just basic. The enemies are really basic and easy. The platforming itself, there's a lot to be desired in terms of Hero's Duty, Sugar Rush, and Fix-It Felix Jr. Why isn't Sergeant Calhoun? Why isn't Vanellope playable in this game? Why is Fix-It Felix basically useless? Why is the collectathon stuff, like the coins and stuff, it's basically worthless? The game, like I said, is way too easy. There's no incentive to play the game again. There's no replay value. There's a new game plus mode, but there's basically no reason to play a new game plus mode because it's literally just the same exact dang thing anyway. But the music's good. The graphics are average, but the music's good. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I don't really know what else to say about Wreck-It Ralph. This was my first attempt at making another review for a new format that I'm trying to try. 4 out of 10, Wreck-It Ralph. Pass, whatever. I wouldn't smash this. Wreck-It Ralph definitely wrecked my heart. But with that being said, guys, hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I'm going to be making more reviews like this in the future. Tell me if you guys like this format, if you like this non-scripted stuff where I just kind of, you know, erupt from my heart about stuff that I like. But if you guys like this video, like this video. And if you guys like you saw and want to see more, why not subscribe to the channel? All my social medias will be in the description down below. Anyway, so that being said, guys, thank y'all for watching. Have a good night if you're watching this. Hasta.